Let me ask you a question. I have a difficult time. I'm a new kid on the block. I have a difficult time telling my family what I'm doing here. I can't explain this. How do you explain what result? You said they're powerful, they do whatever. How do you explain what results does? How do you explain to your friends and to people outside? Because not everyone understands exactly what you do. So how do you try and explain, if you don't mind, what results does? Tomorrow's a huge day for us. We're going to have, hundreds of people on the Hill talking about exactly what you want us to talk about.
To me, it's a very simple one. I mean, Capitol Hill is a centre of global power. The whole world looks to the US, looks to the US government, the most powerful economy in the world. What you folk are able to do is you have access and you have influence. That is an extraordinarily important thing, because every decision maker on Capitol Hill is a human being. They may come from a different political background or what have you. But what you're actually able to do is to show folk on Capitol Hill, busy people, a whole load of competing interests and what have you. You're able to show them that in fact the US government can make some good and sensible investment decisions with taxpayers' money in the field of international development. I don't think anybody out there would disagree that trying to reduce poverty in the world, all right, is a bad thing. All right? It's a good thing economically for America as well. I mean, the more that countries come out of poverty, you're expanding the global marketplace. And if ever there was a country that was entrepreneurial, it's this one. It's in America's interest, not just security interest, but in America's economic interest. Now, some organisations, some grassroots organisations, they go out on the ground and actually do things in villages. What Results does is just absolutely brilliant. It uses its power and its connections to try and leverage good decisions from powerful people. And that's why we like working with you folk. You're very strategic, you're very focused, you have very, very good, simple messages. And if you don't have that sort of grassroots sort of leveraging, advocacy, pushing, if you don't have folk putting up a mirror in front of your legislators, all right, that's when we have a problem. That's what you folk do, and I don't know anybody who does it as well as you do in the international sphere in this country. Does that help explain what?
Yeah, I mean, it helps have it coming out of your mouth. I mean, somebody else who sees the world and knows, who's seen a lot of things in this environment. I mean, I just have to say, I mean, I can say it to people, but somebody who has the global picture that you do, the advantage that you do, it's helpful to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how much of your sort of donors and supporters money went into the Results campaign for the global partnership. May have been, tens of thousands, might have been 100,000. I don't know, exactly how much it was. What you helped do was not only generate 20 million from the US, but the 20 million from the US is freeing up the purses of a whole load of others. I mean, I know for certain of 2 countries, all right, that would have given less money if the US had not come to the table. So, that say 100,000 was invested by Results in supporting the replenishment campaign for the global partnership. Leveraged 20 million out of the US, and I'm absolutely certain that if you had not been active, we would not have got that 20 million. Moreover, that 20 million has leveraged at least 150 million additional dollars from other sources. And ask me in 2 years' time how much I'm able to leverage from the US coming forward. But if the US doesn't pay, that's going to be a massive problem. Credibility then starts falling. We're absolutely at crunch time now. The US needs to pay. A lot of people out there think the US won't pay. I've seen this one before. If you can get the US to actually pay this money, there's a huge amount more that we can do to leverage even further. That's why I said to your lunch, it's got to be one of the most leveraged organisations that I know. And a bit like your board chair was talking, that as a surgeon, he's able to sort of save one life at a time. Absolutely fantastic. Some of the organisation I used to work with CARE, we were active on the ground. We were sort of implemented activities on on the ground. We're able to help a certain number of people. You need a mix of different organisations. Your organisation is fantastic because it is so highly leveraged. You're focused on trying to leverage funds from others for the right things. It's great.
Thank you. Yes.
Is that all right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Splendid.